Hey, what's up? I'm Wes. We're here at Hair Story Studio, and I'm on the orange couch today with Miss Jennifer Covington Bowers. Booze. So
Hello.
get ready for this. I am so excited that you are here today.
Me too. I'm
Girl,
excited,
it is
Wes.
one of my dreams. I love talking to you. So, for those of you who don't know, Miss Jennifer Covington Bowers is an amazing, all around hair cutter, hair colorist, and editorial stylist. So, I want to kind of dive in today and find her journey because I think a lot of people look at a fashion magazine, be it an actual physical magazine or a digital publication. And if you are anybody like myself, like I
Right.
looked at it a long time ago and was like, wow, there's this really amazing artistic place. And so how do people kind of get into that journey is what I want to talk about. But before we go there, I want to
Okay.
hear how you found yourself in hair.
I actually always loved fashion, always loved beauty, but it wasn't something that was kind of promoted or understood in my family. They were like, "Can you make money from that?" So they
Totally.
were like, "I don't know." So I decided to just, go to college and think about going into law. But fortunately, my husband and I became pregnant young. So
Mhm.
I said, "Oh, I'm just going to go to beauty school." And it was the best decision I've ever made.
So you were about to be going down a path of becoming a lawyer.
Right.
And and then you just thought, okay, you just said, well, I'm pregnant, so I'm gonna have
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go to school as long.
right.
I'm going to do something. And I loved hair. I loved beauty. Loved fashion. Been cutting out magazines since like 10. So it was like a next perfect stage for me.
That's awesome. And was it just so you kind of found this, it's like life presented itself to
It
you to
did.
kind
It
of go
did. It's
down
funny
this
how that
path?
works. Yes, it's funny how that works. Like if everybody and people were still like in my family, like, I don't know. Now you're gonna be able to support yourself. I'm like, I can't afford to stay in college. I frankly really didn't want to,
Right.
but so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to. So I went to beauty school, got my license. I actually always looked in magazines and hair magazines. Saw this guy doing that did hair fabulously, looked where he worked at, went there on Lexington Avenue, a salon called Crown and Glory, and was like, it's a guy here and I like what he does. Came there dressed to the nines,
Of
thinking I'm on
course.
an interview, heels, not used to wearing heels. And it was the owner there, Richard Green, and he said, go shampoo some hair. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, I shampooed hair until about 8:30 at night. I didn't even ask to go to lunch because I was so nervous and scared. And he said, I guess you can come back tomorrow.
I
And then I just
love
started
it.
assisting. And it was amazing. It was a good experience.
And how and was he doing editorial at the time?
He had editorial connections at the time.
Okay.
So the person that I actually came because of, he was doing editorial and different people were in that salon. Tippy Shorter was in
Right.
that salon, tons of other people that were doing editorial things that I had looked at. So I just wanted to be in that environment. I mean, so, I was drying towels and shampooing hair,
Right.
but every part of the day, Richard had this immense library of videos. And he would be like, during your lunch, you eat in here and you watch a video. So I would watch a video a day of like updos, different things, and just absorb it in.
And then were you practicing at the same time?
I didn't get a lot of practice there, but I would practice on my own. That's a big part to me. I still practice. I still carve out a certain day to practice. I have mannequins at home. I have wigs at home, and I always practice because that's the only way you can truly elevate your craft.
because that's what's so cool, right? Like, I think that's the thing. I think that, I think when you go to beauty school, you assume you're going to learn all of this stuff, and it doesn't really work out that way, right? Like,
don't.
that's not really
You
what
don't.
beauty school is about. It's making
It's
sure
not.
that you know, you can
You're
handle.
licensed.
You're licensed, so that you can handle things safely, right?
Exactly.
That's what it's really.
You can clean your station
you
and
can
sanitize
clean
your
your
combs.
station, girl. Totally.
The funny thing is too,
dip them combs.
Even when you think you're gonna assist, you're like at the towel area and the sink area. You ain't touching. I wasn't touching any hair except at the sink. You know what I mean? So you can get a little. You're so excited when you come out of school, so you think I'm going to be doing hair, and what is this about the shampoo and the towels? Exactly. But you don't know that it's actually disciplining you for other things to come. Because if you're really smart, you're paying attention to what's going on. So I was there for a little while. He got me jobs at Clairol, at different places. So I learned a lot of different things. And then I went to another salon that I was at for a very long time. And I started feeling very stale in it because I always wanted to get in fashion. But you know, you start getting in that fear, you're comfortable, you get in your comfort zone. You're like, I'm getting older. Can I do it? Can I do it? And then I just made a decision of a year of saying, I'm just going to do stuff, whether I'm scared or not scared. So then I just got with the mastered program, and Sam McKnight was a mentor. And he was heading up the mastered program. It was an online program, and you had to complete these tasks. And it was so out of my comfort zone, so freaking scary. And I just did it, and I pushed through and learned, and it just really reignited the passion I had for hair, because I was sort of losing some of that in the salon, even though I still loved having my clients.
Right.
So it was difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the hardest thing, right? Like, I think what's so interesting is, like, you had outer voices that were saying, you know, you're never going to make any money, right? You should have gone to college. And then, you know, what happened for you was, like, you went in, and what's so interesting is when you step into the salon and you go through any type of apprenticeship, there's a moment where you're like, cha-ching, in New York. Like, you are making money, right? Like, and so it's a really, really, really hard and scary place to go, I'm going to actually go into retraining myself to say, okay, well, I'm going to, like, not make any money again. Because when you start assisting in editorial, you're working for the experience. You're not working.
You're working under the guise that knowledge is currency.
Right.
So you're getting paid in that. Okay.
Love that.
And that's what it is. I mean, you might get a little something. You're not making tons of money. Right. But the great thing is I was already an established stylist. So being that I was already established, I was able to maintain my clientele base, because this is a new age. Before you had to separate. It's like, oh, that was looked down upon in the fashion world if you were just a regular hairstylist. But I was able to maintain my loyal client base that I already had grown, and then get into doing that. So that gave me a little more freedom to be able to work with people I wanted to work with and be okay with, like, getting paid $100 or nothing.
Totally.
You know?
And how was that in terms of, like, you know, if there's someone out there that is established in the salon, but their passion has always been to kind of be doing some form of editorial, being a part of that fashion world, how did you manage that conversation? Because, you know, jobs, you know, it's not like they're like 2 weeks and they're like, hey, you're going to be from here to here. They're really kind of could pop up almost at any time.
Did. It was, in the beginning, it was extremely hard because I was in a very traditional salon. Right. So I cut down my days, and it still didn't always work. Jobs would come and I would see that job and I was like, oh my God, I really want to go to that. And if you're starting out as an assistant, you can't turn down a job. But if you're in a salon, you can't turn down a client because the salon owner has expectations on you, and your clients have expectations on you. So I was just torn all over the place. But you know, the universe has a way of making things happen how it's supposed to happen. So I kept doing it. Whenever I had free time, I would assist. I would work those 2 days, and it was becoming a lot. It was becoming difficult.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. But I started assisting more with one person, and I got on certain jobs and I started to feel more comfortable with it. And then I got introduced to Hair Story. And that is an amazing experience because this is something different. This is evolved hairdressing. This is a place where it's so many different creative people doing so many different things that you feed off that energy, and there's no constraints in creativity. So I was able to come one day a week and then still have a support system from Hair Story.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's so like, that's what's important in a modern world, right? It's the idea that like you can come and, I always look at it all as like tools, right? Like it's tools of your creation, right? So, and to create an environment that's flexible for you to explore your dreams without the being like, you got to be here at this time, this time, this time, is an amazing kind of opportunity and fit perfectly within, where your life was at. So.
It did. And it actually, I wouldn't have went to Europe for Fashion Week if I wasn't at Hair Story. I don't think I could have taken that leap and felt comfortable without having that foundation there at Hair Story, because I knew I still had my clients. I knew I still had fear, but it alleviated some of those other fears.
Right.
So it was good. But that being said, you still have to be even more disciplined, being somewhere where you're freer to be creative.
Yes.
And that's a balance you have to find for yourself.
You must have to create your own structure.
You really do.
In a way.
Even more so, or
Yes.
you can roll off the rails.
Right, exactly.
You
have to kind of come in
right.
going, I'm running this show.
Exactly.
And the show happens to be me
in my life.
And so I think it's like, and then you just continue like practice. And what's interesting about you that I love is that you're what I would call in the middle. And what that means is that you are now at a place where you are the lead hairdresser. You're the one doing the jobs.
Yeah. In some instance, because I still assist.
And then the other side is that you are still assisting. And so I'm curious, like, what is that like? How is that in terms of for you to be like, okay, some days I'm the show, and then some days there's another show happening, and I'm making the show happen.
I think every experience of assisting prepared me for all of these different things, from the salon assisting to assisting behind the scenes. When you're an assistant on an editorial, it's not about you. It's about supporting that lead hairdresser to the point of making sure you're there early, setting up their things. So you have no ego. It's not about what you know or, oh, I know how to do that. You're there to absorb, to learn, and to make them present their best work. So it's such an experience, but it also, when you come into editorial hairstyling, I didn't know the business side to it. I didn't even know how to fill out an invoice, to send the invoice out to the agency. So you start to learn all those things as you work with people, the certain tools, the certain products, the rapport with clients. It's a whole nother area of hairdressing.
Yeah.
So I started to learn that. So then when I get to lead or be on a shoot of my own, I've already began to develop that confidence. If I didn't assist and I just went on a shoot, I might say I can do it, but I might not have had that full confidence in knowing whatever they show me, I can create it.
Right.
Because I've learned those foundations.
Right.
So.
And when you see something on set, say you watch someone do something and it's amazing, do you go and take it to that day that you've set aside and practice that look?
I do. If I know that look, I don't, but there's certain things I practice.
Okay.
So yes, I do. And even like prep, before I'm going on a job, I practice out. I kind of go through some of the looks if they're not basic looks, but I do practice it because I see amazing things working with different artists. I'm always in awe, like, oh my God, I never thought to do that. And then I sometimes take it and I've already had an idea, but I didn't know how to further that idea.
Okay.
So I kind of expand on the idea I had and just make it my own because I never want to copy someone's work outright.
Right.
I just don't feel, that's just not my thing.
Right.
So I want to take it to another level, but I use those foundations.
Totally. And how have you found coming from this place where, you know, you're this little girl tearing out magazines,
yes,
you know, looking at these editorial images. How has that transitioned into being a person that's on a real set? Because a real set is not the end result. Yeah. It's not the magazine.
It's
you know, everybody
magazine.
Always says
it's not glamorous. It's not glamorous. You have a lot of pressure on you. People are counting on you, screaming on you. Everybody has an opinion about your work. That's another thing. So from assistant, you kind of develop a tough skin.
Yeah.
Because people criticize. People come before you. In this age of social media, you see people doing this, and then it's like, it looks like they're doing a lot. And you could kind of forget the blessings you have because you're so busy looking at what other people do. So I try to stay very conscious of that, not to worry, okay, that's their journey, it's their time, it's their season, I'll have my season, and just kind of relax with it. But on set, it's not always glamorous because you're working. Yeah. You're working, you have the pressure, you're nervous, you could be dealing with a mean model or upset person, or you don't know what happened in this person's life before they came on set, or it's just not working and they need you to create on the spot. But sometimes, like when I find it a lot when I'm at the fashion show, it's sometimes hectic, crazy, but then I look around and I'm surrounded by beautiful chaos. I'm like, here's these couture dresses, here's these people I've only ever read about and seen in a magazine, and I'm privy to be behind scenes with that. Yeah. So it's exciting. It's very exciting.
That's the thing. I think what is so amazing is I think it has to be so deep within you. I think that, I think if you want to take on anything tough, you need to ask yourself, do I love it?
Yes.
Because if you love it, you will endure whatever it takes to get to there. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what is so powerful about what you're talking about. I think it's your continuous willingness to always learn without, bringing your ego into it, and continuously showing up.
Yeah.
And tapping into, that little girl that loved that image, and that you get to be in that space where you go, I'm here.
Yes. And it's kind of amazing too, because sometimes I used to be like, oh, why didn't this happen when I was younger? I had better skin. I was much thinner. But then I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to really handle it.
No.
Because sometimes so many things are so overwhelming and you're not mature enough, and everybody matures at different rates.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to let things roll off my back. I would have probably absorbed that. So I feel like the biggest question I get from people are like, where do I start?
Yeah.
Start where you are. You're enough, and just start where you are.
Right.
Wherever you are and you want to do something, start there.
And how do people, speaking of starting where they are, because it is very, very different. I mean, the reality is that, you probably are not going to be able to, find a job description that says, editorial hair assistant, and give you a good breakdown of what that means, right? So, you're an observer. So you could kind of step into a set and probably learn what was needed real quick. There are others who don't have that.
Class.
And so, you know, what are some of the things that you think people who are stepping onto a set or working with an editorial hairdresser, if they're in that role, what do they need to do?
I think, working with an editorial hairdresser, I think you need to be very observant in how they do things. I even would take a picture of how they set up their case because I need to pack that case back, how they set up their station. And some people that only like you to stand to the left of them, only stand to the right. People are particular because that's how they work. Right. And if you don't know something, the worst thing is when people don't want to say, I don't know. If I don't know something, I'll be like, I don't know about that. I'm not going to be like, I read that. I did. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Tell me, teach me, give me that knowledge. So just say you don't know and ask, or surround yourself with people who are going to tell you the truth. Not everybody wants to help you, but I'm lucky I have had a few people that'll be like, no, this is the way you do it. This is where you go get tools. And you just keep picking up more the more you do it. Exactly. But you have to keep doing it. And sometimes you hear $100 or you hear no dollars, and you don't really want to do it. But, you know, you have to kind of do that.
But it's building.
It's it's planting the seed to grow some other things into it. And then you'll get to a level where you can say, I want to work with this person because of whatever they have that you want to learn. And you don't have to just keep working. But in the beginning, you have to kind of keep working with all types of people, you know.
And that's a good lesson to learn. Like, you know, the thing is if you're young and you're hungry, you have to learn to say yes.
Yes.
Right?
I read, it's a book called The Year of Yes from Shonda Rhimes. And she said, I'm going to just say yes to make sense, but opportunities, I'm just going to say yes. Even when you get that little fear, I want to just stay home and watch Netflix. I want to stay home and watch Netflix sometimes too. Right. But I just say yes. I'm scared as hell. I'm going there. And you just do it. And when you come out, you do feel like, oh my God. You might have been like, I fucked up. I don't know what I did. But hey, I learned something because now I'm going to learn how to do that. Right.
Exactly. Yes. Sometimes you need those moments.
You do.
Right? Like, that's the thing. It's like if you are standing in a space where it's like, you're like, no, and they're shut down, like, you don't get to learn anything.
You don't.
So it's like, go in and understand that you are going to mess up. You know, like there are going to be those moments where that's going to happen. That's part of the journey.
It is.
You know, I mean, outside of burning somebody's face.
Exactly.
Which has happened too. Yes. But
it's so crazy because sometimes I'm home, like I'll get a job, I'll be like, oh, I'm excited. Then I'll be like, I hope they cancel. It's like a weird thing because then I'm like nervous about it. Yeah. So I'm like, I won't mind if they cancel, but then I'll be like sad if they do cancel.
Totally.
It's so weird. And so I'm just like, okay. And then I'm home because I'm like a total hair nerd. I'm home painting, making something, doing something to like prep myself for it and just get myself ready. It's so weird.
I know. I love it. I mean, I love it. I think
it's cool.
And you think it is so important for people to understand how to assist. You actually have developed a class.
Yes, I have. I want to get more into it and invite more people from the agency. But I think it's a dying art of apprenticeship. You know, we have the internet, so you can just get clients, you can that. But then you're missing important steps. You're missing all that discipline that game. Yeah. So it's not like I'm a better assistant. I just have a different patience for it. And I have a longer vision. If you're thinking short goals, you know, if you're planning your goals, 6 months, I want to be assigned at an agency, then you're not going to be assisting long. You're not there to absorb. You're just trying to be there to make connections.
Right.
But then that might be your career. You might not have the longevity in it. So I think assisting, it's a humbleness to it, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I can still go. I don't have to say, oh, I can go and do my own clients and make money and this and that. They don't even need to know that, because when I'm there to assist and do that for that person.
Right.
And to absorb and learn and become a master. Yeah. And the only way you become a master is through assisting and learning and continuous doing.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, that's what's so interesting is, like, you know, everyone's working so that the door will open. But the truth is how you step in that door, how you prepare when the door opens is what is all that stuff before.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the thing. Like, yes, you can meet someone, they can like you, they can kiki with you all day and be like, ooh, girl, come to my set.
All the
like,
time.
I'm into you. Like, it can happen. But if you can't deliver the hair because you didn't do the work,
that's true.
You're going to be in trouble. Yeah. And you're going to feel that, you know? It's like, I'd rather, it's like, have people feel that fear when you put it in a safe place.
Exactly.
Where you can mess up. You know, do that at home. Do that, you know, whenever you're working under somebody that can get you out of the situation. And so don't skip the line, because it will be, you know, it'll be a short-lived career. Because you got to hook up. You got to hook up and somebody knows and they look cool and this. But it really is preparation meeting opportunity. Yeah. Because sometimes I'm around masters, and I know that I'm not a master yet, but I love being surrounded by that. When you're around, even when I see you cut, I'll be like, oh my God, I got to pick up a razor. When you surround yourselves with those kind of people, you have no choice but to bring your level up here. When you stay in your little zone, you just stay there coasting. Yep. You don't grow either way. Right. But when you surround, when I see what Guido does, what Joey does, what Damien does, it's incredible. And I'll be like, oh, how do they handle this, that, you know, and that, and I'm trying to get to that place. So that's where I want to be. I have to surround myself. Even the other assistants I work with on a supportive team of backstage, we support each other. But you see some people and you be like, oh my God, they're so good at that. Yeah. I gotta learn that. Or you just feel that energy that makes you be like, I'm going home. I'm practicing. I ain't got that down. I'm practicing that. This is not gonna happen to me again. I'm gonna be the best. And it's like a healthy competition too. You know, it's like some people see the lifestyle and they want the lifestyle, but they don't want the work. Totally. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, I want to go to Paris. Oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to be on that Vogue set. But they don't want to do the work that it entails. Right. And it's work. It's work. It's work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Sometimes I'll be going home like, what was I thinking? I could have been a lawyer at a desk right now. Definitely. Well, we are thankful that you did not become a lawyer. Me too. We are so happy that you're here. Me too. And where can people find you, and how, like, if they are interested in taking this journey or dipping their toe in it or assisting I would love people to just hit me up on Instagram at Pink Curls and Paint. From our last class, some people still write to me and mentor me. Someone from that class I was able to bring on set with me. And if you have questions, just ask me. Yeah. Because I wish I had other people that I could ask about things. And the only way to truly be great in your craft is to pay it forward. So if you have questions, ask me. I love that. That's the thing that I also love about you. We were talking about a friend of ours once, Joey, and you said, you know what I love about him? He's so generous with his knowledge. He is. And I love that in you too. And so I think the thing that I have really taken away from today that I think is so, so important is that you just show up. You just show up and you continuously build. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, what is so interesting is that people assume that is without fear. And the truth is, you're traveling with fear and just getting to the other side of it. And I think that's a lesson to be learned on all levels. So that is... Push through the fear, because it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind.
You know, some things is life. It might not work out, but push through the fear because it's not even real.
Exactly.
It's not.
Yes. I love it. Well, thank you so
much,
my darling, for hanging out.
Orange couch.